Good evening. Pursuant to the New Jersey Open Public Meetings Act, adequate notice of this meeting has been provided by advertising such notice in the Home News Tribune, the Asbury Park Press, the Board Office, the schools, and on Cablevision Channel 118 and Verizon Files Channel 24, and by filing such notice with the Township Clerk. This meeting was scheduled for Thursday, January 4th, 2024. The Board will take formal action on agenda items. Ms. Johnson.
The Old Bridge Township Board of Education acknowledges that the law of this state establishes that member of the public, including members of the board, have the right to record public board meetings using audio or video recording devices, provided that the act of recording does not interfere with the business of this public board meeting. Therefore, the board makes it known that any such recording is to be considered the private recording of the individual and in no manner represents the official record of this board. The board therefore takes no responsibility for such private recordings and completely disavows any future use.
Roll call.
Ms. Dantuno?
Present.
Ms. Chaudhry?
Present.
Ms. Lent?
Present.
Mr. Marqueta? Mr. Slade?
Here.
Mr. Singh? Mr. Sulikowski?
Here.
Mr. Weber?
Here.
Mr. Giordano?
Here.
A quorum exists.
All rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ms. Johnson.
Thank you, Mr. Giordano. The top three vote getters of the November election are as follows. For 3-year terms, Christina Mazzone, 5,574 votes. Matthew Sulikowski, 5,137 votes. Elena Francisco, 4,864 votes. At this time, I will be moving over. At this time, I'll move over to the podium and we'll invite each candidate in the order that it appears on the agenda to be sworn into the Board of Education. Christina Menzo.
I, Christina Mazzone, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey, and I will bear the true faith and allegiance to the same and to the governments established in the United States and this state under the authority of the people, so help me God. I, Christina Mazzone, do solemnly swear that I possess the qualifications prescribed by law for the office of a member of a Board of Education, that I am not disqualified as a voter pursuant to law or disqualified from the membership due to conviction of any crime or offense as listed by law. And I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform all duties of that office according to the best of my ability. So help me God. Thank you.
The next candidate is Matthew Sulikowski.
I have to put my hand on the Bible. There you go. Okay, I'm Matthew Sulikowski. I do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey, and that I will bear true faith and alliance to the same and the government established in the United States and this state under the authority of the people. I, Matthew Sulikowski, do solemnly swear that I possess the qualifications prescribed by law for the office of member of the Board of Education, that I am not disqualified as a voter pursuant to the law are disqualified from membership due to conviction or any crime or offense as listed by the law, and that I will faithfully, impartially, justly perform the duties of this office according to the best of my ability. So help me God. Thank you. Again.
And Miss Elena Francisco.
I, Elena Francisco, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey, and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same and to the governments established in the United States and this state under the authority of the people, so help me God. I, Elena Francisco, do solemnly swear that I possess the qualifications prescribed by law for the office of member of a Board of Education, that I am not disqualified as a voter pursuant to law or disqualified from membership due to conviction of any crime or offense as listed by law, and that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform all the duties of that office according to the best of my ability, so help me God.
And at this time, I'll be taking a roll call of the newly elected Board of Education. Ms. Dantuno?
Present.
Mr. Giordano?
Yes.
Ms. Chaudhry?
Present.
Ms. Francisco?
Here.
Ms. Lent?
Present.
Mr. Marqueta? Ms. Mazzone?
Here.
Mr. Slade?
Here.
Mr. Sulikowski?
Here.
I will now open the meeting to the public for any comments on agenda items only. Seeing no one, I will close the public comment section and take a few moments to review the process that we'll be following for the nomination and voting for president by outlining the board policy. The procedure for the election of the board officers shall be as follows. The board president. At the annual reorganization meeting, the board secretary serving as interim chair shall call for nominations for board president. Any member may place a member's name in nomination. A second is not required for the nomination of a candidate for president. A member who has been nominated may decline the nomination. The board secretary and board attorney shall record the name of all nominees for board president. When board members have been given an opportunity to make nominations for board president, the board secretary shall close the nominations. The board secretary shall then conduct a roll call vote on nominees in the order in which they were nominated. Nominees who have declined nominations shall not be included in the roll call. A board member may only vote in support of one candidate. The first candidate to receive votes from a simple majority of the board members present will be elected to office, and the board president election process shall conclude with no further roll calls. In the event of a tie between two or more nominees, a second runoff election shall be conducted between the candidates receiving the highest number of votes. In the event of such a tie, the board secretary shall conduct the runoff election via roll call, in which each board member may only vote in favor of one of the remaining candidates. Once the new president assumes the chair, The election of the vice president will be conducted by the president in the same process. At this time, I'd like to take nominations for the board president.
I would like to nominate Jay Slade for Old Bridge Board of Education President.
And Mr. Solakowski.
Are there any other nominations? I will now take a roll call vote for the nomination for president for Jay Slade. Ms. Dantuno?
Yes.
Mr. Giordano?
No.
Ms. Jodry?
Yes.
Ms. Francisco?
No.
Ms. Lent?
Yes.
Mr. Marqueta?
So before, I know we're just supposed to vote yes and no, but I just want to say that both men would make fine presidents. Mr. Solakowski came here basically on oxygen. Jay Slade's made every board meeting and committee meeting for the last 2.5 years. So I do think that both men would make honorable presidents. Jay Slade's a friend of mine. I know him a couple of years. We ran together. He's a good man, and he has the kids at heart. Mr. Solakowski's been doing this for a long time. So I vote. Who are we voting for?
We're voting for Jay Slade right now.
Jay, I love you, buddy. Sorry. No.
Ms. Mazzone?
No.
Mr. Slade?
Yes.
Mr. Sulakowski?
No.
The total count of yeses is 4 and 5 noes. I'll now take the roll call vote for Matt Sulakowski. Jennifer Dantuno?
No.
Mr. Giordano?
Yes.
Ms. Jodry?
No.
Ms. Francisco?
Yes.
Ms. Lent?
No.
Mr. Marqueta?
Yes.
Ms. Mazzone?
Yes.
Mr. Slade?
No.
I'm sorry. Christina, what was your vote?
For Matt, yes.
Yes. Okay, I'm sorry. Mr. Sulakowski?
Do I have to vote for myself? Yes.
With 5 votes, congratulations, Mr. Sulakowski is the president of the Board of Education.
Okay, I would like to thank everybody for the votes. Okay, thank you. Keep on this one, right? Okay, I would like to take nominations for the vice president.
I would like to nominate Elena Francisco.
I nominate Jen Dentoro.
Any other votes? That's it. Okay, roll call.
The roll call for the nomination for Elena Francisco. Jennifer Dantuno,
No.
Mr. Giordano,
No.
Ms. Jodry,
No.
Ms. Francisco,
Yes.
Ms. Lent,
No.
Mr. Marqueta,
Yes.
Ms. Mazzone,
Yes.
Mr. Slade,
No.
Mr. Sulikowski.
Yes.
There are 4 yeses and 5 nos. The nomination for Jennifer Dantuno. Roll call is Ms. Dantuno,
Yes.
Mr. Giordano.
Yes.
I'm sorry, was that a yes?
Yes.
Yes. Ms. Jodry,
Yes.
Ms. Francisco,
No.
Ms. Lent,
Yes.
Mr. Marqueta,
No.
Ms. Mazzone,
No.
Mr. Slade,
Yes.
Mr. Sulikowski.
Yes.
That's 6 yeses and 3 nos. Ms. Dantuno is now the vice president. I thought, yeah. Oh. The, Matt voted for yes twice, so that was.
Okay, can you correct that?
Which
CJ,
one is
please?
it?
For Ms. Dantuono, Mr. Solikowski's vote is no.
No, okay. So that makes the vote for 5 to 4.
Yes.
We have to move finance 1 through 5.
Giordano
Can I-
motion.
Can I get a second?
Jodry will second.
Thank you. Roll call.
Ms. Dantuno,
Yes.
Mr. Giordano,
Yes.
Ms. Jodry,
Yes.
Ms. Francisco,
Yes.
Ms. Lent,
Yes.
Mr. Marqueta,
Yes.
Ms. Mazzone,
Yes.
Mr. Slade,
Yes.
Mr. Sulikowski.
Yes.
Resolutions 1 through 5 passes.
Okay, supplies, equipment, and services 1 through 4. Can I get a motion, please?
Lent will move it. Dantuno will second.
Thank you. Roll call.
Ms. Dantuno,
Yes.
Mr. Giordano,
Yes.
Ms. Jodry,
Yes.
Ms. Francisco,
Yes.
Ms. Lent,
Yes.
Mr. Marqueta,
Yes.
Ms. Mazzone,
Yes.
Mr. Slade,
Yes.
Mr. Sulikowski.
Yes.
Resolutions pass.
Okay, board secretary and board business 1 through 1 and 2. 1 through 2. Can I get a motion, please?
Giordano motion.
Jodry will second.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Mr. President, at this time, each year, it's my obligation to read the Code of Ethics to the
Go ahead.
board members. And after reading it, there'll be a time when anyone who has questions can ask them of the board attorney. In accordance with NJSA 18A:12-24.1, every board member will abide by the following code of ethics. The board member will, number 1, uphold and enforce all laws, rules, and regulations of the State Board of Education and court orders pertaining to schools. Desired changes shall be brought about only through legal and ethical procedures. 2. Make decisions in terms of the educational welfare of children and seek to develop and maintain public schools that meet the individual needs of all children regardless of their ability, race, creed, sex, or social standing. 3. Confine his or her board action to policy making, planning and appraisal, and help to frame policies and plans only after the board has consulted those who will be affected by them. Carry out his/her responsibilities not to administer the schools, but together with fellow board members ensure that they are well run. 5. Recognize that authority rests in the Board of Education and make no personal promises nor take any private actions that may compromise the board. 6. Refuse to surrender his or her independent judgment to special interests or partisan political groups, or to use the school for personal gains or for the gains of friends. 7. Hold confidential all matters pertaining to the schools, which, if disclosed, would needlessly injure individuals or the schools. In all other matters, he or she will provide accurate information and, in concert with fellow board members, interpret to the staff the aspirations of the community for its schools. 8. Vote to appoint the best qualified personnel available after consideration of the recommendation of the Chief Administrative Officer. 9. Support and protect school personnel in proper performance of their duties. 10. Refer all complaints to the Chief Administrative Officer and act on the complaints at public meetings only after failure of an administrative solution. Do any board members have any questions for Mr. Parton? Everyone in their packet received the code of ethics for the board members. If you haven't already, if you would sign this top page and return it to me, that would be great.
Roll call, please.
Ms. D'Antuno?
Yes.
Mr. Giordano?
Yes.
Ms. Jodry?
Yes.
Ms. Francisco?
Yes.
Ms. Lent?
Yes.
Mr. Marqueta?
Yes.
Ms. Mazzone?
Yes.
Mr. Slade?
Yes.
Mr. Sulikowski?
Yes.
Resolutions 1 and 2 pass.
Hearing of residents on any school district items.
It looks like it's on. Tony Pasquitti, Mulbridge. I'm here to oppose policy 5756, an opposition that is at the very essence of parental rights. I'm here not just as a concerned resident, but as an advocate for the fundamental rights enshrined in our Constitution, which distinctly affirms the right to direct the upbringing, education, and care of our children. This is not merely a preference or guidance. It is a constitutional guarantee and a bedrock of our society. It alarms me, as it should alarm all of us, that there is an existing growing trend where the state, by extension of our school district, seem to overreach into and upon our sacred role as parents. This is not just an overreach. It's a dangerous precedent eroding parental rights, a typical government behavior. Consider the current practice in our schools. We receive calls from the most mundane matters. Our child is sick, late, absent, had a mishap on the playground. Yet when it comes to issue significant and sensitive nature like changes in a minor's gender, there's a troubling silence. This silence, this withholding of vital information from parents is not only unacceptable, I and many other residents do not give the authority to withhold. This is potentially grounds for legal action. Take a look at the ongoing lawsuits in Cherry Hill and Cranford to recognize the gravity of this issue. Both are currently being sued by parents in federal courts. Policy 5756 is a policy, is not a law, not a mandate, it's merely guidance. Yet its implications are far-reaching. Across our state, across our country, school districts are waking up to this reality. To date, 20 districts in New Jersey have rescinded this policy, sending a clear and resounding message to the state authorities. They're not just making a statement, they're setting a precedent. We are at a crossroads. The decision before this board is not just a bureaucratic decision, it's a moral one. Rescinding this policy would show you stand with the parents, stand with families upholding our God-given rights and protecting the sanctity of family unit. The path is clear. It's time for our district to align with those who have taken a stand. It's time to uphold the constitutional rights, to honor our role as parents, and ensure that our voice, our fundamental right to guide our children's lives, is respected and preserved. I urge you to reflect deeply on these matters and make a decision that honors our rights, our families, and our communities. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Yes.
Well, this is something different, and it should be brought to our attention. I want to thank Frank Weber for all your years of service in Old Bridge on the Board of Education. Your dedication and commitment has never wavered to the residents and the students and the faculty of this town, and I appreciate that very much. And your knowledge that you've imparted on other people has been very important, and your knowledge with your financial knowledge is no one can compare to it. Thank you very much, and I wish you many happy years in retirement.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Hello, my name is Ron Mack. I reside in Old Bridge. And Frank, I agree. Thank you very much. And I want to just talk briefly here. Congratulations to Christina, Alina, and Matt Zolikowski. You get a double congratulations. You got the coolest signs all over Old Bridge.
I took them all down, though.
Good. They're a wonder in carpentry, a work of art. And so, okay. I've been to a few school board meetings. Let me say that Americans are bound to the Constitution. We as Americans are. In fact, the first article is the only reason we're here and doing this tonight. So I want to thank you all for your service on this board. I know you could be doing other things and it takes a lot of time. So thank you for your service to our community. I want to say that the first article in the New Jersey Open Public Meeting Act guarantees that if you are not from my town, Old Bridge, you do have a right to speak here tonight. There seems to be some confusion on this throughout meetings here. But so if you're not from this town, under the New Jersey Board of Meetings Act, public meetings, they cannot silence you, and you're welcome to speak in my town, so thank you. Second, there's a broad lack of cognizance about people who are religious. As some people coming here in the past into these meetings have cried out the phrase separation of church and state. There's no such thing. You can't find it in the Constitution. If you can, I got a $100 bill in my wallet, but you can't find it. It's not there. It's fictitious. It doesn't exist. So anyway, we want to thank you, and we look forward to this next year with all of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anyone else? Close this portion, hearing of residents. Okay, old business. Any old business? New business?
I have something.
Okay.
So it's I have a question, and depending on the answer, a request. So I'm sure someone up here can answer this question. Before COVID, were we set up in more of like a U? So my request would be if we could go back to that. I just kind of feel like it's so staggered. Some of our backs are to other people. And if we could just go back to, you know, at least symbolically right now as a first step to being a cohesive unit, I don't know, I just think that would be a step in the right direction.
Thank you. Anyone else? Any board members like to say anything?
I know we discussed it last year, and it was access of getting to and from your seat was harder as a U. So not opposed to it if people want to agree to it, but that was the reasoning why we decided to keep this last year.
We can always extend the size of the stage here.
Are you building it? That's what I want to know. That's going to build it. But so Jen, I see your point.
That's something to think about, really.
Yeah, I really do think it is because I mean we kind of sit here and we don't really get up and down. So I think it's just like to enter and to leave. I don't think it's too big of a deal, but just my request.
Okay, anything else, old business, new business we discuss?
Yeah, I'd like to also
Okay.
thank Frank for his service and knowledge that you shared with the board and welcome the new members on. And looking forward to working together. Thank you.
Frank, I want to congratulate you that you're 25 or 30 years, where is he? Oh, he's over there. I really want to thank you for your service, really. Not too many people do go out of their way. Well, I understand. But this is the final statements, okay? Thank you for your service. We couldn't replace you. It's going to be very difficult to replace a person like you with your financial knowledge, okay? Thank you.
I'd like to jump in on that too. Frank, I want to personally thank you for being a mentor and for helping me when I was up here for that short 6 months. You were a huge piece of the learning process for me. So I want to thank you very much for that and for all your years of service to this community. Thank you.
And I'd like to say congratulations to the elected members, Mr. Weber, and good luck to all of us this year. Thank you.
I'll jump in on that too. So Frank, I said this to you the last time when we had Mr. Mara's goodbye meeting. Your time and that you dedicated to this town is unbelievable. So your knowledge that you have, sometimes, like I said, useless, and then some of it's actually very useful. But it's I just want to say thank you. I would tell you to get up and say a few words, but I'm trying to save everybody's night, so we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. Congratulations to Elena and Mr. Silikowski on their election. Oh, yep, and Christina, yep. And hopefully it's a good 11 months. So, thank you. And one more thing, Matt's signs date back to the 1950s.
I learned how to create these signs right here from Old Bridge because I was a school teacher here. I want to thank the Old Bridge school system for teaching me how to do it. Okay? Anyone else?
I think there's a statute on that.
Anyone else? Okay, since we have no closed session, we're going to go into adjournment. Okay, roll call, please.
Marquetta
I need a
moves.
motion.
Marquetta moves it.
Len seconds.
Roll call, please.
Dantuno?
Yes.
Oh, all in favor?
Aye.